This is the BODAR Blast by the USS Decatur, with your host, Lieutenant Junior Grade Daniel Ehrlich. All views expressed on this show are not those of the United States Navy and made by the individuals who are on the show. All music used is used with the permission of the songwriter or is royalty-free. This is a feature production of the USS Decatur and is made free to use and free for all the families and supporters of the USS Decatur DDG 73. Bold and daring. And welcome to the BODAR Blast. This is our New Year's version. First couple of weeks in the new year have been busy, but it's always glad to update the families back at home on what's going on. We have an awesome episode for you guys at home today, and I'm very excited to share some awesome guests as well as a little bit of a new segment. But jumping right into it, very busy last couple of weeks. We've been moving around a lot and dealing with some rough seas. I know a lot of people have been dealing with some sea sickness, but you know, you just kind of get through it. A lot of rocking, but we've been able to kind of get through it. You just got to take a couple Dramamine and get through it, We've also gotten a lot of our sailors that have gone through some boards, and for all of you guys that don't know at home, so there's something called an ESWAS pin, which is your Enlisted Surface Warfare Specialist pin. It's a big milestone to hit as an enlisted sailor in the Navy, and we've had a lot of sailors reach that point. Can't wait to post some stuff on our social media once we get some photos of it. But your sailors have been achieving and just working up to their absolute fullest, and I'm so happy to see everybody kind of achieving some awesome things. Getting to see people put those pins on their chest is really cool. So one segment that I really kind of wanted to start this week is a little bit about kind of the traditions of Decatur and what we do on the ship that really to us seem normal, but to a lot of people I guess are a little weird, is we have the tradition of having something called a holiday routine. Now, for you guys that might not have served or don't really know that in specificity, we take Sundays as your normal weekend day. So Saturdays usually our working day, and then Sundays are what are considered holidays. And you don't have announcements over the 1MC. People, get to relax a little bit, take a little bit of time to take a little bit of downtime. And especially underway on deployment, our commanding officer has been really awesome, Commander Jimenez, to allow us a little bit of I wouldn't say individual creativity, but kind of that a way to show our individualism in wearing ball caps. So a lot of your sailors are wearing team ball caps or ball caps that represent where they're from. I unfortunately did not bring my Penn State ball cap on board, but I definitely would be wearing my Penn State ball cap. But we get to kind of, for lack of a better term, let our hair down, and I think that's what's really awesome about Sundays is the tradition of holiday routine. So if you ever come on board, even in port on a Sunday, you'll see kind of a lot more relaxed routine during the day. We put up a different, what we call a holiday ensign in port, which is a different type of flag. So it's a way for us to take a little bit of a relaxation. Obviously for national holidays too, you'll see that as well. Which leads me into another segment I wanted to introduce, which is around the mess deck. So often you hear so many different types of stories, even rumor mills around the mess decks, but I wanted to get the pulse of what really is happening in people's free time and your sailors' free time and how they spend their free time. And this week's question of the week is what show are you watching, or have you really gotten into this underway on Netflix? And we did get some answers that weren't necessarily Netflix, but we had some pretty good answers. I was expecting a little bit more out of Kaleidoscope. I know that some people have been watching that one. I know that Wine 2 talked about it in her interview later on in this podcast, but it's some interesting answers that'll make you really see what people are kind of getting into in their free time. I'm on the USS Decatur mess decks, and we're going around the mess decks with one question, and we're going to start with OS2 Pacheco, CS1 Howard, CS1 Houston. So what Netflix shows have you guys gotten like really into on this underway so far? What's up?
Too Hot to Handle.
Too Hot to Handle? Why Too Hot to Handle? What? I haven't even heard that one. CS1?
Hold on, I can't remember. Oh, my favorite so far has been the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle documentary.
Oh, okay. And Prince Harry just released a book. Mm-hmm. I need to like.
I watched
that.
all 6 episodes. Very good.
Really? I'm watching The Crown right now, and
Very
it's really good. So, what about you, CS1 Houston?
I have been watching the Ted Bundy files.
Okay, I've heard some good. Her supply officer is sitting right next to her, and she's kind of confused about that one.
Yes, very good.
So, like, why that one? Are you like really into like murder mystery kind of?
I am. That's what my undergraduate degree is in. So,
okay.
I follow that, and I like to watch things like that.
Oh, awesome. Okay, sounds excellent. All right. We continue working around the mess decks here, and I think I found CTT3 Kelch, CTT2 Blance, and ET3 Orcut. So we're going to ask these guys, all right, so what Netflix show have you guys been, like, really into this underway so far?
Love Island.
Love Island?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's cute.
Why?
It's an easy watch. It's like some things are like super dramatic and will make me sad for sure, but Love Island will not. You can't be sad about it.
I feel like it's like really overly. It's stupid.
Yeah.
You just like watching people embarrass themselves on reality TV.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw some people roll their eyes down the table, so you might want to fix it. Yeah, that is a very hot take. All right, what about you, Blance?
Euphoria.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow. That's got Zendaya in it, too.
It does.
Love Zendaya. So why, like, what got you into Euphoria? Technically not a Netflix show, I don't think. I think that's an HBO show.
Yeah.
But we'll count it. Why Euphoria?
Everyone else is watching it.
Oh, so you're peer pressured. Got it. What about you, Orcut?
I am also not watching a Netflix show. I'm watching For All Mankind on Apple TV.
Okay.
It's a show about an alternate reality where the Russians land on the moon before the United States.
Whoa.
And then the space race continues all the way to Mars.
That's actually really cool. I need to get into that
Yeah, it's
show.
really good.
That's awesome. Like, so, like, have you not been able to put it down? Like,
I finished
love
it.
that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many seasons?
There's only 2 right now.
That's awesome. I need to totally get into
Do you have
this.
Apple TV?
I don't. I need to get Apple TV. I think I just need to ask around the deck plates and ask people's passwords.
Just get someone's login.
Exactly. Thanks to all of our sailors on the mess decks for that valuable information in some cases, but also just getting kind of the pulse of what you guys do on the mess decks or in your free time. Everybody has their way to unwind, and it's everybody has their own individual way to relax on the ship, and getting you guys the pulse of what your family members and friends are doing on this ship to get a little bit of downtime is something that's important to share, and a story of how we do our deployment and how we survive this deployment. So without further ado, I want to kind of move into our interview segment of the show. This week, another amazing guest this week. Awesome hard worker. I work with her quite a lot on the legal team of the ship. It's Yeoman second class Tailor Evans. She's super talented, hard charger, and always thrilled to work with her. Great interview and another great story. And again, we have so many amazing stories on USS Decatur. If you have any questions that you'd like answered from me or from the interviewee every week, please send them over to Miss Sleesman, our ship's ombudsman, and I will be happy, or our interviewee would be happy to answer those on the podcast for you. They can be about how we live life on the ship, the routine, kind of what each rate does, because each rate has a lot of pride in what they do and their work. So without further ado, Yeoman Second Class Tailor Evans. I'm here with YN2, Yeoman Second Class Tailor Evans. YN2, welcome to the BODAR Blast. You're our third guest. And what made you want to join the podcast tonight?
Sir, I wanted to join. First of all, thank you for having me on this podcast. I wanted to join just to give my outlook of what we've been doing the last 40 days, sir.
Yeah, and we want to also let the families know more about you and your career and kind of what got you to this point. So kind of starting off, where are you from, how many years have you been in, and what really got you into the Navy?
So I am born and raised San Diego, California. I graduated from Eastlake High School in 2016. I've been in for 6.5, almost 7 years, going on in July, sir. And I joined the Navy. My dad is a retired senior chief. My mom did her 4 years as a radioman a couple decades ago. So I really wanted to join, essentially to beat my dad. I want to be a Master Chief one day.
And so you want to be a Master Chief. Awesome goal. Why do you want to be a Master Chief? What do you see in like our Command Master Chief Bar Aiden is awesome. Like what do you see in a Master Chief, and what kind of leadership styles do you see that really want to get you there?
So I do look up very much to Master Chief B. She has a very strong personality. She's very strong-willed. She doesn't let anything hold her back. She speaks her mind. She's very respectful about it. I'm really all about junior sailors, sir, and I think that's really why I want to be a Master Chief. One, I could meet that. I mastered my rate because I want to go YN. I want to stay a YN, so I want to go the YNCM route, not necessarily Command Master Chief route. But I want to lead junior sailors and just bring them up through the ropes. I want to make a change. That's really cliche, but I do want to make a change. And
that's what's really awesome about people your and my age in the Navy, is that a lot of us really do want to make a change. Like I agree. Like the sailors, the mission is important, but the sailors are more important.
Of course, definitely.
Without the sailors, you don't get there. So as a YN, you help out our sailors quite a bit. Not everybody back at home knows exactly what a YN does. So tell us more about kind of your duties as being a yeoman.
Okay, so as a yeoman, I perform clerical duties in regards to the triad, the whole ship. I dibble and dab in personnel. Sometimes I'll help with gains and transfers and sometimes separations. But for me specifically, myself, sir, I'm the ship secretary. So I directly work for the CMC, XO, and CO. Whatever guidance and whatnot they need from me, I go ahead and give it to them. They have questions about anything, I help them out with that, sir. I process paperwork for them. It's a lot of stuff that I do. So.
Yeah. And so you talked about your dad. So what's your military history in your family? Obviously, your dad was Navy then?
Yes, sir. So my dad did 20 years. He retired as an engineer senior chief. And then my mom did 4 years, and she was a radioman, which is a now present day IT. So I grew up, I stayed in San Diego my whole time. He never moved around a lot or nothing like that. Stayed in San Diego my whole life. But my dad was always in the pits and whatnot. He was always gone because he was a seagoing rate. So he spent most of his time deployed on ships and whatnot. So I was used to seeing that. I have an ITCM aunt that's currently stationed on the Blue Ridge. I have a retired BMC as an uncle. Just a pretty vast military history. So
does everybody like sing Anchors Away at like family like get-togethers and stuff like that?
No, sir. But like my dad's been retired for about 10, almost going on 11 years, sir. He still brings up Navy stuff. He wears his chief shirts to this day. He's always making references to the Navy. He texts me about Navy stuff to this day.
Yeah.
He's been retired for 11 years.
So, like, I had an uncle that was actually he was a YNC. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and, like, may he rest in peace, but he was always talking about chief stuff and, like, always talking about sea stories. Like, is Thanksgiving dinner just all sea stories? Mm-hmm. Just everybody's talking sea. So, like, what sea story definitely got you, like, really excited about the Navy?
About the Navy? My dad always just said that during deployment, especially on a smaller ship, he was on a cruiser first ship. He said that it's just a real close-knit family. Like, and so it does get tough out here, especially if you have family and whatnot. But he did say that despite what differences you all may have, at the end of the day, you guys all come together because we're all that we have out here. So I think that's what made me feel somewhat okay about joining. Granted, I knew that I would have to come on a ship sometime soon. So I think that's what got me, sir.
Yeah, I think we all miss our families back at home.
Oh, yeah.
Really wish we were with everybody back at home right now, but that's, you know, one of the sacrifices that you make, and hey, more power to you for wanting to do that. So kind of moving into your, like, Navy career, I know that you started as an MA, so tell me more about, like, what got you to this point on Decatur, and tell people what an MA is, because I'm not sure everybody at home knows.
Okay, so an MA, everyone is a Master at Arms. In my case, I was basically a gate guard. I welcomed people on board the base, scanned IDs, enforced seatbelt rules at the time, earrings for men that were not allowed, stuff like that. Wasn't really my cup of tea. I only did it because it was the quickest thing to get me out my house, from my parents' house. I didn't want to be a burden on them, so I graduated June of 2016. I shipped out July 2016. I always knew from the get-go I didn't want to stay MA, so 2.5 years into my naval career, I went ahead and put in my conversion package to go YN. So I've always wanted to be a YN, but at the time when I did apply, when I was in high school, YN was not open. So I was like, you know what, I got to get out of here. I got to get on my feet. I can't live off my parents. Granted, I was 18 at the time, a newly graduate from high school. I just knew I didn't want to be living on my parents' roof anymore. I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do.
So, where did you go from after being an MA? So, like, what was your next command after that until you kind of reached Decatur?
So I went to boot camp in Great Lakes, then I went to San Antonio for 56 days for A school, and then my first command was Naval Base San Diego, 32nd Street, where I was a gate guard. So.
Got it. And then, like, what everybody has, like, a boot camp story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, what was your kind of, like, boot camp story that kind of stays with you? Especially, like, MA school stuff. I'm sure you guys had stuff there, too.
We had a lot of stuff. So one day, for my boot camp story, one time it was holiday routine on Sunday, and we were reading. You get to like write letters back home, read. You could talk to the recruits somewhat, but I was leaning up against my rack, and I was asleep. But I had a book open, so I could make it seem like I was reading. But my RDC, he came up to me, he cussed me out, and he's like, "You're on the tow line," and he whooped me for like 30 minutes straight. He got me he caught me sleeping on
just
holiday
made you
routine.
PT and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and for the whole division, because we had 2 divisions. It was 327, which was me, and then 328. So he made me PT in front of the whole division because I got caught sleeping during holiday routine.
So from being caught sleeping to kind of being kind of that junior enlisted leader on the ship, not only are you the ship secretary, but you do a lot of stuff with the JEA. So for everybody at home, the JEA is the Junior Enlisted Association. What kind of got you into that? And what are some of the things that you guys do? I know that you guys do a bunch of stuff around the ship to engage our junior sailors. So
I'm the JEA president, everyone, and what we really do is we like to bring awareness to the more junior guys. So it's E5 and below currently. We like to do like mentorship workshops, like eval workshops, PQS trainings, just to show the junior guys like how to succeed on this ship and how to break out and whatnot. We did a job fair recently for the PAC sailors. For all of you that do not know, PAC is what was previously undesignated. It's the sailors who do not currently have an actual rate. So for this job fair that we did, we went ahead and we advertised each of the rates that we have on board the ship, just giving our pitch to show the PAC sailors what's available to them. So they enjoyed that a lot. We had a New Year's Eve party that was really fun, and we plan on doing a volunteering event one of these ports. So
yeah, and we've got some really cool volunteering events coming up for the ports, and that's really awesome. You guys throw some awesome parties, and what kind of got you into the JEA, and what's been your favorite moment so far with it?
So I joined the JEA when I first got here. I saw that it wasn't really active. Granted, COVID was a thing, so they weren't really able to vamp anything up or anything like that. But I like working with junior sailors. I'm still a junior sailor myself, but I feel that the the more I work with junior sailors, I become more experienced. I know how to. It helps me lead people essentially, sir. And then I forgot what the other question was.
And so, like, what's been your favorite thing that you've kind of participated with JEA about?
So February of last year, 2021, we did a Love is in the Air holiday candygram event where we did candygrams for the whole ship. I believe it was like $7 for each candygram. We made a lot of money off of it, and it was fun. We went ahead and like crafted these little Valentine's Day packages, and then we went ahead and delivered them to everybody on the ship who bought one.
Yeah, and all that money goes back to the crew too, which is really awesome to continue doing some awesome events. And so beyond like all your work and stuff like that, like how do you relax underway? Like everybody's got to have their like there's so little privacy on the ship, you know?
Yes.
Like
Sir.
how do you relax? How do you find that like one moment of peace on the ship?
Sometimes I run away from my chief, sir.
Your chief that is currently in the room listening to this.
Sometimes I escape my chief just for like a few minutes, maybe up to an hour. I just go take a quick nap in Burden or something like that sometimes, sir.
Yeah, well, hopefully chief doesn't overdo like, but I mean, do you go work out and stuff like that too? And like, I know a lot of people
sometimes.
like stress relief with workouts, and like I recently started reading a new book and stuff like that. But I know that kind of the theme of this episode of the BODAR Blast is going to be also kind of going around to our sailors and asking, but what show was like the one show that you've really gotten into this underway so far?
Oh, it's a show on Netflix called Kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope?
It's fire.
I've heard that there are like
Fire.
2 shows that have been running through the deck plates in the Kaleidoscope. What really got you in the Kaleidoscope? I know a lot of people are like super excited about it.
So what I like about the show is, so when I saw a post about it, it said that you could watch it in any order and it'll still make sense no matter what order you watch it in. But the storyline is just pretty good. Like from the get-go, it picked up really fast. It wasn't slow. I won't spoil it for anybody who's currently watching the show, but it's really good. It's about bank heist. So.
Oh, well, I guess I gotta go watch that.
You got to, sir.
I gotta get on the Starlink and
Fire,
download
sir.
that. So, your office is just like super hype all the time. I walk in and you guys got that vibe. How did you guys really build that teamwork? And like it's all starting at your Divo, I'm sure. Miss Marana. I was recently told we can't do impressions of people, so I know everybody's got an impression of Admino, but you know, gotta be polite to her. We don't want to make her feel bad about that, but she is an awesome Divo.
She's
and
great.
you know, how did that teamwork build? How did that team really come together? Because you guys are super tight.
So it actually wasn't always like that, sir. So we had someone in the office who had been there for a while, and she was it was time for her to go. And once that person did leave, we were able to come together and realize like, hey, we don't need to be angry all the time. We could talk to each other, and we're all relatively around the same age group. So it's easier for us to talk and whatnot. And then myself, Ryan, Juan Dawkins, and then PSC Redmond, we have kids. So we also talk about stuff like that. 3MC has kids as well. We just really put trust into each other. And then sometimes even Chief lets us close the door if we're not feeling like too up to par. And he'll ask us like, what's going on, guys? Like, vent if you need to. So I really appreciate PSC for that. So they've seen me at my ugliest moments, and I've had some very ugly moments, sir. So, and I've seen their ugly moments too, but making yourself vulnerable to people like that is how you become closer. So they've seen it. PSC has seen my ugly side. He's only been here for 3 months, but he's seen the ugliness to me, but I think that makes him understand me more. So that's just how it works, sir.
Yeah, and you mentioned all of you guys have kids, so if you want to shout out your family, you can, but also, what's it like being not only a woman in the Navy, but also a mom in the Navy?
So being a woman in the Navy, sometimes it has its ups and downs. You know, you're rude, you get portrayed a certain way. Being a mother in the Navy is hard. It's difficult. I miss my son. Shout out to Logan. It's hard. It's my first time being away from him. I waited till I was almost in for 5 years to have my son, but it's hard. I don't know how to explain it, sir. But when I was telling you about all the ugly moments that I have, I cry all the time about not being there for my son. And I just feel like I feel bad sometimes for not being there, but it's hard. But I know after these few months are up, I know it'll be worth it because I'll get to see him every day for a few years because we have 5 years shore duty. So I'll be guaranteed to see him for the next 5 years, not having to go away or anything like that. It's worth it. So I work hard, and even the breaks that I do get, I really try not to. I try to grind as hard as I can because I have a certain mindset and goal that I want to leave this ship with. So essentially everything I do is for my son. So
that's an awesome goal. And hey, Logan, good to talk to your mom here, but also and that's awesome. And I don't know because I don't have kids, but it's definitely really tough being away from your family, and every day that you're away from them is probably really tough. But it's also awesome to know that you're going to have an amazing story to tell them later on in their lives. So it's really a cool thing to have. And then just ending on a lighter note, your office, like I said, is popping. What do you guys have, like, different, like, playlists, like, for, like, there's I'm telling you, for everybody, like, listening, like, there's always different vibe kind of music playing in the admin office. Do you guys have, like, different playlists that you play in there? Like, how do you create the vibe?
Oh, yes, sir. So, like, and Mr. Ehrlich knows because he goes in there turned up with us too, dancing. We have a lot of playlists. Like, if we want to focus, we have a lo-fi playlist. If we want to get hype, I have, like, a 2000s playlist for, like, hip-hop, R&B, stuff like that. We have a ton of playlists, and we all have our own different playlists that we take turn playing. Even PST has its own playlist, and 3MC. So
yeah, I do like to get down, as the kids say. So YN2, it's always awesome talking to you. Thank you so much for being on the BODAR Blast, and to everybody at home. I mean, one of the hardest working people on the ship. Thank you again for coming on. And wasn't that an awesome interview by YN2 Evans? Again, thank you so much, YN2, for coming on the show. Always an amazing person to work with. And now that we've kind of reached the end of the show, I've got a snack that I got to get from the ship's store. But thank you all for joining me. If you want to hear newer things or have some feedback about how we can improve the show, questions that you want answered, different segments that you feel work or don't work, or things that you want added to the show, feel free to reach out through the Ombudsman to me. I would be happy to include your inputs in the show. This is, without a doubt, not only the ship's show, but also the show of everybody affiliated with the ship. Supporters, family members, friends. We're all a family, we're all a team on USS Decatur, and it's that bold and daring spirit that keeps us all together. So I'm going to go get a Cosmic Brownie and split. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining me on the BODAR Blast.